Okay, so after quite a period, the physical human form vessels was complete. They were satisfied. I apologize for jumping so much, it's quite a bit of information. Excuse me. So, now we're talking about the dinosaur prehistoric period, where the Atlanteans were already enslaved into the physical form ape-man. So let's start there. Anu had now his forms complete, prepared, and the serpents were busy developing the what is now called dinosaurs. What was called dinosaurs is now referred to as dinosaurs, and the Leviticus was busy preparing the nature. So how did they then get access to this earth planet to be able to do that without the Atlanteans being aware of it? That was the Syrians' plan. They secluded themselves on a specific piece of land here on this earth through a sound cocoon in which they shielded themselves. In other words, to not be seen by the Atlanteans. It's like a forming of a mirage. In other words, if you see something, you see as though it's there, but actually behind it there's something else. And that's where they started testing and preparing and seeing how their forms will manifest if it's working. So they made a small and prepared a small environment to test their creations. A very small environment. So they created this is really small, just a few plants, and they created maybe 5 or 6 dinosaur manifestations and about 10 human forms. First, Anu tested some beings from his own race. He used to inhabit these ape-man forms to see how it worked beautifully, perfectly. They're very primitive, stupid, dumb. It is interesting because his first observation was, when he used beings from his own race, was that they'd walk in and it was really like a system. Seeing everything for the first time. So the ape-man was, of course, walking around making strange noises, which is a system. Please, I urge you to remember, it was systems, it was not beings. The beings were those that powered the systems, and when they were inside these systems, which is within the physical form, they won't know anything, they won't remember anything, and they won't basically know they exist anymore. So it worked. So basically what the being would do with on his race, when he used a few of his few beings from his race, they basically literally walk inside it. Okay? But what they do is they have to connect the center of their placement inside their mind. They'd have to walk in and basically connect themselves with that center point placement inside the physical human form, connect themselves there, and then what will happen is the system will basically infuse them into the center. So there was basically like a center pole inside the human physical form, and that center pole which contained the center point of the mind area, which is that which activates the entire system inside the human physical form. So then they'd walk in and they'd be scrunched up. Well, it's not really scrunched up, please. It's an interdimensional being, literally being placed inside a vacuum, a vessel, just to power systems. So Anu was satisfied. Anu, the Syrians, the serpents, the Leviticus, were really satisfied. So Anu said, right, next step. we have to get the Atlanteans to basically walk into these physical human forms, so that they are us. So that they are us in terms of they become then the systems, they become then the physical form. Now before they could do that, Anu said, okay, so how long are we first going to just test them? But now what happens if we test it and it doesn't work? Where does the Atlanteans go? Now this they didn't know at all. So they tested it. Now remember, beings from Anu's race were in these human physical form bodies. And he said the only way we're going to do it if we kill the system, this physical human form. Maybe the being will die too, hopefully. So they did it. They first cut off the complete neck area, because if you sever the neck completely, it cuts off the brain area from the rest, the top area, which is the most important area, from the rest of the system. If that is cut off, the system dies. So they did that. Unfortunately, it didn't work. And the being basically still came out, asking what happened, not remembering a thing. Last thing he remembers was walking into the form, and now he's back here again. What happened? So they realized they have a problem, because if this form wasn't the form, they were still going to enhance it, specify it. But they just wanted to test it for now with all the Atlanteans. And they realized they have a problem, because the beings are still going to exist. They're going to remember who they are when these systems as the human physical form die, and this can't happen. Now this is where the dimensions come in, the design and the creation of the dimensional existence. So they said, right, what they're going to have to do first is the following. Firstly, we get the Atlanteans, we place them into these prehistoric physical form 8 men, which is called now predefined by human beings in this world today. We have the dinosaurs, and we place them here for a few million years or so. During that time, we do the following. We design and create another human physical form, which is more specific. We work on a plan to make sure that when this physical form dies in some way or another, that the beings that die, that when the systems die, the beings that come out don't remember anything, and we may be able to recycle them or return them back in all the time. Okay, so I will continue in my next interview with the rest of the story, the history of man.